Guys, welcome back to another DOY Creations video. I am Jeanette, aka Sarayah, and before I get started, I always like to give glory, honor, and praise to the Most High Yah. All right, guys, I was playing around this morning and I came up with this beautiful earring design right here. Isn't that beautiful? I am calling this earring design Granny Meets Mash. Isn't that lovely? All right, guys, and before I made the second earring, I decided that I was going to go ahead and do a tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm getting ready to share with you all the material that I used to make this earring. But the yarn that I use, you can also use thread yarn, a very light yarn. So it's whatever yarn that you would like to use to create this earring. Now, I know everyone does not like large earrings like I do. I like large and small earrings. So if you don't want your earrings to be of this size right here, go ahead and use thread yarn. So let me share with you all the material that I use to make this earring. I use some Lion brand ice cream yarn. This one is said to be a size 4, but it feels more like a size 3 thread size, but I'm not for sure. But it is saying that it's a size 4. So grab your yarn. You're also going to need a tapestry needle to sew in our loose ends. You also, sorry about the noise, you are going to need a fish hook, one small ring, and a backing for the earring. Also, you're going to need your pliers just to put the earring on. I'll show you that when we get to that part. I use a letter G, let's see, a letter G or a 4.25 millimeter hook. That is what I'm using. And also grab you a pair of scissors. If you have all your supplies together, let's go ahead and make this quick but beautiful earring. We're going to get started by making a slip knot. So go ahead and make a slip knot. Make the slip knot however you make yours. If you need a slower version, please check out my playlist and I will show you how to make a slip knot. Go ahead and chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to go into the 4th chain from the hoop. That's 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. And number 4, I'm going to put a double crochet into the 4th stitch. 1 double crochet. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to put a double crochet. That is going to have us with 3 double crochet. The chain 3 is counted as the first double crochet. All right, go ahead and chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work around. And in that space where you put your chain 3, put 2 more double crochets into that same space. So that's 1 and 2. That will make a total of 3 double crochets. The chain 3 is counted as the first double crochet. Chain 1. And in your last stitch, you're going to skip a stitch. And in your last stitch, you're going to put 3 double crochet right on top of that chain 3 space. So go ahead and put 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. Chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn your work around into that first stitch where you got the chain 3. Go ahead and put 2 double crochets in there. That's 1 double crochet. And here's my second one. That gives a total of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1. And then in that space right here, we're going to put 3 double crochets directly in that chain 1 space. So go ahead and put 3 double crochets there. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let me just get more yarn. Hold on. And after you do your 3 double crochets into that space, you're going to chain 1 and skip over to your last chain a 3 space, and you're going to put 3 double crochets into that last stitch right there. We're going to say 1, 2, make sure you're going into both ends, that's 2, and 3. And your work should be looking like this so far. That started off with 1, now we got 2, 1, 2, 3. Now let's go ahead and chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn your work around, repeat it again, and put 2 double crochets into your chain 3 space. That's 1 and 2. Chain 1, go directly into that chain 1 space, insert your hook into the space, and make 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to chain 1, go into that space where we have the chain 1 space, and we're going to put 3 double crochets into that space. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and then in that last stitch, that chain 3 stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets right on top of that last stitch. Go make sure you're going on top of the stitch. So sometimes it's kind of hard to try to find that top stitch, but once you find it, you're okay. So we're going to say 1, 2, around the frame, and 3. So there you have it. It should be looking like this. We start off with 1 chain 3. Now we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how we're looking so far. All right, once you have that, now you're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. When you turn your work around this time, we're going to do double crochets all the way across our chain. So we're going to go into the next stitch and put a double crochet right into the next stitch. And now we're just going to go into the next stitch. And each stitch across, we want to do 1 double crochet. Once you get to the chain space or that chain 1 space, go underneath there and then put your double crochet, just to make it look nicer and neater. But directly on top of your chain of your double crochets, just go ahead and do your regular double crochets directly on top. So here I am, just putting my double crochets all the way across. When I get to my chain 1 space, where I get that space, I'm just putting a double crochet there. Now I'm back in my other 3 double crochets, so I'm just going to put 1 double crochet into each of those stitches, just like this. Double crocheting all the way across. Double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then my last 3 stitches, I'm just going to put a double crochet. 1, 2, and then my last stitch, let's put a double crochet on top of that chain 3. That chain 3 is always a little tricky, but it needs to be attended to so you can have neat work. So now I have a row of double crochets going all the way across. Let's go ahead and chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work around. Now we're going to put a double crochet into every other stitch. So we're going to skip a stitch and then put a double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and then the next stitch, a double crochet. And all the way across, we're going to, every time we do a double crochet, we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and do a double crochet into the next stitch. So we're going to repeat that all the way across, because now we are getting started with our mash stitch. skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, okay, chain 1. We have 1 stitch left, which is that chain 3, so we skip 1 and then go into our chain 3 space and we do our double crochet. On camera it's a little bit more difficult than doing it off camera. So let me just look away from the camera so I can go into the chain 3 space and do my double crochet. Let's do it like that. All right, now we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work around, and now we're going to go into the space. So we're going to go directly into the space, not the first space, the second space. We're going to go in and do a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, go into the next space and do a double crochet, chain 1, go into the next space and do a double crochet. And we're going to repeat that all the way across. We're going to chain 1, go into the space and do a double crochet. Easy peasy, right? Chain 1, go into that space. Oh, okay, so now we at the end of chain 3. Instead of going into that space, we're just going to go into the chain 3 space. So let's go ahead and go into the chain 3 space. Just like this. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn our work around, and we're going to repeat the process. Not into the first space, but the second space. We're going to go in and do a double crochet. Chain 1, go into the next space, and do a double crochet again. Chain 1, go into the next space, chain, fell off the hook, chain 1, and then we're going to go into the next space and we're going to chain 1, but instead of going into that last space, we're going to go right in on top of our chain 3 space. So let's go right on top of there, just like that. Now we're going to chain 3 again. We're going to turn our work, skip that first space, go into the next space and do a double crochet, chain 1, go into the next space and do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then skip that last space and go directly on top of the chain 3 space. Okay, now we're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, turn our work around, repeat the process, skip the first space, go into the next space and do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip that last space and go directly on top of our chain 3 space, and we're going to do our double crochet. The chain 3 chain is always pretty tricky, but it's possible. Okay, the last time we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, turn our work, and now we're just going to go into that middle space. We're going to skip the first space, go into the next one, and do our double crochet. We're going to, running out of yarn, chain 1, and then in the last space, you're going to do your double crochet. Go ahead and do that. Okay, just like that. And now go ahead and chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work around. And now we're only going to go to the last chain 3 space and do a double crochet. We're going to skip these 2 spaces, go into on top of our chain 3 space and make a double crochet. Just like this. All right, so that's the end of that. Now, if you got your scissors, go ahead and fasten off. And now we can just fasten off our work because our earring is now completed. And this is how our earring looks. Now what we can do at this point here, you can start your earring, make it more flatter, and all you do is just spray some starch, lay something over it and iron it, and it makes it more stiffer. Off camera, I'm getting ready to just sew in my loose strands. I'm gonna sew in that one and I'm gonna sew in this one, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna take our jump ring, and you can open it up with your pliers. And then you're just going to find a place right directly on top of your stitch, just like this, to insert it. Now you're going to take your fish hook and you're just going to place it directly inside there, the hold. Okay, now that is on. And now let's go ahead and close this up. I like to do mine a little bit more snug, so I like to squeeze it to ensure that it does not come off. So secure it the way that you need to secure it, just like I'm doing right here. I just want to make sure it doesn't pop off. All right, that looks really secured on there. And let's just add it to our previous earring. And now I have my backing, the stopper, the ear stopper, however you say it. And I'm just going to put that on in the back, just like that. Let's take that tag off there, the backing. And now you have a beautiful pair of earrings. Now, I realized when making these earrings, when you're using variegated yarn, it may start one color, go dark, and when you get ready to make the second one, it may go into a lighter color. However, I think the next pair I make is going to be in solid color, but for this demonstration, there you have it. Let me know, guys, what do you think of these beautiful, easy earrings to make? They only took all of 10 minutes to make. Really, really pretty. Really, really like how they look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning back in to another DOY Creations video. I appreciate it so, so very much. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not part of this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit your bell settings to all. And until next video, always remember, y'all, Psalm 68:4 in your King James Version. Always keep your life and your health in check. And I'll check with you guys in our next video. Bye, guys.